Hello everyone, the next question that we are going to be doing today is question number 9. It says on the number line below, point P shows the location of an irrational number. Here's our number line. It goes from 4 to 10 and it's looking like it's going up in 0.5 increments. So if it's 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, so on and so forth until we reach 10. Our question is, which expression has a value that is greater than the irrational number represented by point P? Our options are A, square root of 7 minus 1, B, 2 times the square root of 7, C, 4 plus the square root of 7, and D, 7 minus the square root of 7. The great thing about this question is just like question number 8, as long as we know our terminology, know how to read our number line, and know how to use our calculator, this is a really, really easy question. So I went ahead and I highlighted some important words in the question. We're looking at point P, so I highlighted point P. Okay, then it says an irrational number. An irrational number, again, is a number that cannot be turned into a fraction. So it's going to be some sort of number that has a decimal that goes on and on and on. There's not going to be any sort of pattern that we can see in our decimal. Okay? And the last word, which they actually wrote in bold for us, is we're looking for a value that is greater than point P. Okay, and when we look back at our number line, point P is right here. So point P is someplace in between 5.5 and 6.0. So over here on the side, I just wrote down that we want a value that is greater than 5.5. Okay, it's going to be an irrational value that's greater than 5.5. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my calculator, and I'm just going to go ahead and start plugging in my numbers. So for letter A, our first option is the square root of 7 minus 1. So we have the square root of 7. And I want to close that parentheses. See that right there? I want that closed because I don't want the square root of 7 minus 1, which is the square root of 6. I want the square root of 7 minus 1. And that gives us 1.6457, blah, 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 blah. We're looking for a number that is greater than 5.5. So I can go ahead and cross off letter A. Letter A is not going to be our option. Okay, let's move on. B says 2 times the square root of 7. Before I do anything, I really want to clear out my calculator because we don't want any mistaken numbers up there. So now we have 2 times square root of 7. That gives us 5.29150, so on and so forth. However, we're looking for a number that is greater than 5.5. So I'm going to cross off letter B also. Okay. Letter C says 4 plus the square root of 7. All right, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clear out my calculator, and I'm going to put in there 4 plus the square root of 7. What that gives me? 6.64575 ... That number is greater than 5.5 and it's irrational. So I'm definitely going to keep C in mind, but I do want to check D as well. I want to cover all my bases and make sure that I'm being safe. So D tells us 7 minus the square root of 7. Okay, let's clear this out. And we have 7 minus square root of 7. And what that gives us is 4.3542, blah, blah, blah. That is not greater than 5.5. So our answer for number 9 is going to be C.